This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. The next match is for the world title. It's our main event. It's Batista defending against Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match. We mentioned earlier how Batista beat Triple H to retain at the last Raw pay-per-view, Backlash, and he won the title from Triple H at WrestleMania. Following Backlash, we see a Gold Rush tournament. And these are matches where we're going to determine a number one contender to face Batista for the world title. In the first round of the tournament, Kane would pin Christian. Shawn Michaels would pin Shelton Benjamin. Edge would pin Jericho, and Chris Benoit would beat Triple H by submission. By the way, if you missed that Shawn Michaels Shelton Benjamin match, I don't want to give you a spoiler, but you should go watch it. In round two, Kane would pin Benoit and Edge pin Shawn Michaels. And then in the finale, we see Edge pin Kane to become the number one contender. And on the May 23rd Raw, Batista faced Edge, and Batista retained after a Batista bomb. But following the match, Triple H would attack Batista with a sledgehammer and then challenge him to a Hell in a Cell. And then, of course, after making the challenge, Triple H hits the pedigree on the world title. Batista, of course, accepts the challenge, which leads to a big contract signing for their scheduled match here at Vengeance. And they get a ton of time, as you can imagine. 26 minutes, 58 seconds. This is an unbelievable Hell in a Cell. I don't think enough people talk about it enough. I too have been guilty of just irrational hate towards all things Triple H in this era, just because I was bored. But you go back and you watch this sort of on its own. What a fucking performance. 4.25 stars is what the Torch gave it. Wade would write, the finish came when Batista set up a Batista bomb, but Hunter was going to hit Batista with a sledgehammer on the way up. However, Triple H couldn't swing the hammer in time, and Batista executed his finisher to deliver the final blow in the match. Both men bled heavily. Late in the match, Batista kicked out of the pedigree. They used the chain, a barbed wire steel chair, Triple H's sledgehammer, the ring steps, and the cell walls, all as weapons. Each time Triple H introduced a new weapon, Batista used the weapon against him. They did a good job with the match formatting. The finish sequence itself was predictable if you really thought everything through, yet perfect for the circumstances. 4.25 stars. This was good shit, man. I know there's a lot of irrational hate out there in this era for Triple H, but he's pulling out all the stops here in the Hell in a Cell. And by the way, he lost at Vengeance. He lost at Backlash. He lost at WrestleMania. We have cemented with a clean sweep 3-0. Batista is a bona fide main eventer.
Yes, he is. And right here is just one of those where not really remembering it until you sit there and you watch it. And then you go, well, fuck. Just enjoyable as hell. I mean, it had everything in it. It had blood and guts. You had the chain, you had sledgehammers, you had chairs, you had all the gaga. And it made you feel that story. It made you feel the emotion of the hatred between two men and fighting over a championship. It was very well done. And I think that at the end of the day, you kind of sat there and here's the best way that I can explain it. After you watch it, you feel exhausted.
Yeah.
And that's, when you're exhausted watching a match and you could then sit there and feel what the performers just went through because you're feeling it with them and you're feeling it with them. Good Lord. What is it? 15 years later?
Yeah.
That says something. And, Batista, I think, has always been one that people said, oh, he got by on his looks and his physique. You know what? Dave could go. And Dave busted his ass to get where he is in every single step in his life. And I don't think that some of the critiques that have been heaped on him are fair. I don't feel the critiques that have been heaped on Triple H are fair either. And, you know, here's another example of where he went out there and made the match, and just, it was absolutely incredible. That's all you can say about it.
Really a tremendous match. I mean, I can't recommend it enough. I mean, you've got sort of the best of both worlds. This is a bit of a sleeper pay-per-view because it's not a SummerSlam. It's not a WrestleMania. It's not a Royal Rumble. So it's not going to be something that necessarily people talk about for years and years just because of the branding. But just as a whole, when you can start with Shelton Benjamin and Carlito, you know you're going to have a good show. But then you want to talk about just a tremendous sort of classic wrestling match. Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels put on a clinic. And then in the main event, man, blood, guts, violence, old school cage. This had everything in it. This is a great show.
And again, when I'd asked you before, man, what am I in for here? It's like, oh, Bruce, just go watch the damn thing so we can do the show. And you forget. You look at it on paper and go, okay, I don't know. But this was one that you can go back and watch and say, damn, you took the words out of my mouth. That was really a great show, top to bottom.
I absolutely loved this show. I just think it's one of the sleeper episodes of the year for the WWE as far as the pay-per-view. And I hope that you get a chance to check it out and sort of celebrate this great show from maybe a forgotten era of the WWE. I mean, 2005, it feels very much like, you know, a company in transition. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.